I would say my first speech when I started my company 3 years ago was called the DEI debacle. And it was at a time where DEI was just being eaten up. People couldn't get enough of it. And I came out the gate with DEI debacle. And the reason why I said that then, and still believe it to this day, is that there's a piece of this body of work that honestly is too much. And it's too much at the same time. And if we think about who the customer is, who are we selling? Those of us who believe in the ideology of DEI, who are we selling this to? Largely the demographic is white male, maybe, or conservative. That doesn't necessarily have to be white, it could be black and brown folks, right? That's what we're selling to. And we package this product, this service called DEI, meaning you have to like, accept, see, validate, affirm everything about all of my things, right? And his things, and her things, and her things, and his things, and those things. We have to like and affirm all of these things at the same time with the backdrop of a lived experience that doesn't know how to do any of it, right? So we are asking people to be what they have never been, to accept what they've never accepted, to unpack, assess, reflect, interrogate beliefs that they've held their whole lives and may not even know that they've held at work, right? All at the same time, with language that is white supremacy, white fragile, you're not woke enough, right? With all of this ire, we led DEI with venom. We led it with an unartful, unsophisticated, non-strategic approach to understanding who our customer is and what their appetite is to absorb deeply what we're asking them to reset. Okay, so people are calling, crying all yesterday. I was like, what's the problem? What is the problem? Because it's not always just about people voted for him because they're racist or because they're sexist. This is what many believe, I don't agree with it, but many believe it's about preservation. A lot of white men specifically believe that this is a vote about preserving me. And in our world has only known win, lose, good, bad, matter, you don't matter. That's all we've ever known, all of us. And so in, I think, Trump voters' minds, it was, I'll take the guy who will preserve what I know, no matter the cost. Because if I'm going to be the minority, and if minority means suffering, if it means marginalization, and if it means muting and stunting, I don't want it. So whatever she's talking about, I don't know, I'm voting for this. So there shouldn't be really any surprise there, because I think in some regard, we have to own our part and how we have approached the selling and the persuasion, and our advocacy has been so laced with anger, has been so unkind, has been so riddled in harm swapping and condemnation. And so, we talk about my colleague here, Holly Hartman's in the front. She's the director of the Rare Woman Collective. And the Rare Woman Collective is a racial equity program suite that we have that's specifically for white women who want to do the work of advancing racial equity with grace-centric models that are strategically focused on what must be true by 2045, when Black and brown people become the majority. And so when that happens, what many people fear is world domination. White people will be enslaved. White people will be extinct. And you know what? We've helped them believe that. Many of us. I'm not saying everybody, but many of us have helped them believe that because that's how we've positioned this. When in fact, that couldn't be further from the truth. And so I think now the DEI conversation is, how do we pace and sequence this work strategically? How do we decide what our organizations and what the people in those organizations can and will absorb in what time frame? How do we slow walk and paint a picture of what 2045 could look like that is not painting Black and brown and women as the boogeyman, right? How do we reset our country to adopt a narrative that says inclusion really is inclusive of white people too, of conservatives too, of white men too, of Christians too, right? So I think it's our narrative to reset for the DEI work, our strategy to recast for the DEI work, and our language to just jettison and start over, right, in this space. I think that's the DEI landscape going forward.
Awesome.